Close your eyes for a minute, and I want you to think of a person that you work with that absolutely drives you nuts. Right? Somebody who really drives you crazy. Once you get that person in your mind. You got him in your mind? Okay. We're going to call this person Chuck. Now, I know some of them might be a female person or some might be male, but for our purposes today, Chuck is who this is going to be. So we're going to talk a little bit. You can open your eyes now. So we're going to talk a little bit about these people, Chuck, who drive you crazy at work. So one of the problems is, particularly when we have a Chuck that's very different than us, from us, and dealing with that person then becomes a real challenge. It's why they drive you crazy. And by the way, you perhaps drive them crazy too, right? We won't go into that today because we're here and Chuck isn't. All right. So these issues become very important important work issues because of the fact that even though we all have needs for control and approval, and we all do, it is really the extreme needs that you mentioned. You mentioned about performance issues, you mentioned about relationships and other things, and really your credibility and the trustworthiness piece. So if you're thinking, why don't I trust Chuck? Why do I think Chuck is not credible? This perhaps could be the reason. Many of you working with Chuck tend to take some of what Chuck does personally. Recognize that this has nothing at all to do with you. It doesn't. It doesn't. And the more you react to Chuck, the more you're going to take it on yourself. This is where you separate the people that drive you crazy from the people who are crazy.
Here you go, John.
So, or act crazy. They're not crazy, but they act crazy. So recognize that these high needs, whether it's control or approval, are their own. Their own. Now, they come out, they affect you, absolutely. Right? But don't take it personally, like my boss has it in for me, or my subordinate hates me, or whatever. Yeah, no, they don't. They really don't. They're just acting out of their own reptilian brains and limbic system, right? It's not rational. And it's not too late to try and make whatever those behaviors or those challenges you face a little easier to deal with in the workplace. So thank you very much.